Hey everyone, welcome to the Introspective Detective channel. My name is Alan Ray, and on this channel we explore life and the human experience through the lens of spirituality. In this video today, we're going to take a look at the concept of insight. Okay, let's take a look at an illustration that will better help us understand the concept of insight. So if I were to ask you who invented the light bulb, most of us would answer Thomas Edison. However, a cursory bit of research reveals that there were many inventors that had their hand involved in the light bulb's creation going back decades prior to Edison. So just to provide a quick bit of context, Edison is credited with having invented the light bulb in 1879. Okay, if we go all the way back to 1806, there was an Englishman by the name of Humphrey Davy that first showed an electric lamp that he had created. Apparently, he was not able to maintain the light for as long as they had hoped, and so work continued. Fast forward to 1841, and there was a British inventor by the name of Frederick Moyens. He was able to enclose his burner inside of a glass bulb, so we have another step forward. Okay, and just a few more short years later, in 1845, this time an American by the name of J.W. Starr filed a patent using a vacuum and carbon burner. So I won't bore you guys with more details. There were a few other names that came into play as I did research here. An English chemist by the name of Joseph Swan did some work in this field, and some even saying that Nikola Tesla was involved. But ultimately, my point in sharing all this is not to determine, who rightfully deserves credit for the creation of the light bulb, but rather to talk about perception and how all this applies to each of us on an individual basis. So it's the prevailing perception in our society that Edison is the inventor of the light bulb. Okay, when we look inward and reflect on this, meaning when we use insight, when we look inside, what we discover is that many of us are operating from our perception rather than from truth. And what I mean by that is we don't allow truth to guide us, but instead what we end up doing in moments is seeking to reinforce our existing perception. We just perpetuate our perception rather than doing that self-check to make certain the thing that's guiding us is truth, as opposed to the desire to be right. So taking this introspective insight even further, again, asking ourselves, how does this apply to me? Is there anything that I'm meant to learn from this or take from this situation? Where else might this self-discovery be applicable? So these are the introspective inquiries to ask of ourselves. Are there other areas where I'm being dishonest with myself? What else might be escaping my perception or may have escaped my perception to date if I've not been utilizing truth as my mental process? And I'm certain if we continue looking inward, I'm certain that there are more questions containing value that would allow us to continue to grow and evolve. Okay, if we look at the definition of the word insight, according to dictionary.com, insight is defined as an instance of apprehending the true nature of a thing, especially through intuitive understanding. And then second, penetrating mental vision or discernment, faculty of seeing into inner character or underlying truth. So insight helps us learn more about ourselves, and ultimately that's really its true value. And the more that we're able to bring our best selves forward, the more we're able to share that with others, and and lead that example. So it's important that we remember each of us is an instrument of perception. Okay, bias only serves to cloud our judgment. When we bring all these beliefs to the table in every moment, we have to ask ourselves: are we seeing that belief, or are we seeing truth? Are we open to seeing truth? Are we open? The more we use insight and the more we look within for answers, the more clarity we gain as to our true nature and our true purpose here. And that's really its ultimate value. So keeping things short, sweet, and simple, that's insight and its inherent value in a nutshell. And that's all I have for you today, guys. I hope that this was helpful, and I'd love to hear your perspective in related experiences in the comments below. Have a happy day, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.